Wasi from the Option Snipers, and we're looking for new traders that are literally telling themselves, I have no idea what I'm doing in the market. If that sounds like you, it is going to be imperative for you to go ahead, click the link below so that you can join our community. Listen, we're not for everybody, so if you feel like you already know it all, please, by all means, continue to strive for your own success. But if you're someone that literally needs the assistance, it's definitely going to benefit you to join our community. All right, so go ahead and click the link below, and we'll see you soon. Chat later.
Folder, a pass.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna essentially watch to see what happens here in the market. I'm actually gonna go ahead and place a bid to get in.
Order filled.
Order filled. Okay. So let's see what happens here.
Wait, what you just do already?
So we're on the upward we're on the upward trend. I just bought
Yeah.
a contract for the upside right here at 59.40. So let's see what happens here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set a stop loss as well. We're gonna set that at 40.
Order filled.
We're gonna set that. Now we have what we're doing here is we have a clear trend to the upside, right?
Mhm.
And then we have the EMAs working for us as well. What we're going to want to see over here, we're going to see a new high, right? So if we get to 59.42, that's going to signal us to continue to go to upside. If not, we would potentially break this pattern here and go to the downside. All right.
They said 59.42. Want to break that?
Yeah.
Mm.
To the upside. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're breaking the current trend right here. Let's see if it continues to hold.
Shouldn't we wait till the market open?
So the options market is opens at 9:30, but we could still be able to trade futures. So the thing is, we're going to be banking on the idea of buyers coming into the market and
Oh, raising it, buying everything.
and buying it up. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that right there. Right.
Mhm.
Okay, this looks like it's engulfing now. Pretty much confirming what everything I just said about the upside. Let's see if we can get some continuation here so that we can ride this up, make some money. 59.40 is our level that we had. So we want to see it stay above that. And I think that's what we're looking at right here. Now, new facts bring new opinions. If we continue to trend lower from this trend line after our run up here, then we may start to look into positioning to get out of the trade. But currently, it looks like we're still, at least in the shorter time frame, it looks like we're still on the uptrend. But like I said, that could decide to change at any moment. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place a stop. I'm going to place a stop down here. Okay. Pretty much where it engulfed to the upside. I'm setting a stop right there. All right. So that would be 59.39, essentially 59.38. Let's see what happens here. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Market opens here in about 10 minutes. Let's see if we can get some action. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me? Any questions, y'all? Shoot them. Shoot them.
You still in the trade?
Yeah, I'm still in the trade.
Oh, it's okay.
Let's see what happens here. Now, here's something to pay attention to. We have 10 minutes left. I think I heard you guys say that we don't have any news yet. Is that true? Do we have news or no? Does anybody know if we have news?
No, I think it was at 8:30 was red folder at 8:30.
Right for 8:30? Okay.
Oh, what's today? 28th? Actually, there's a red folder at 2 p.m.
Okay, 2 p.m. So we're not really near 2 p.m. just yet.
Yeah, so that's the only one I see
Yeah.
as of now.
All right. I might be getting stopped out here. Let's see. If not, that could be a liquidity sweep that we had down here to continue to rise to the upside. If not, I get stopped out, take a minimal loss, look to reposition. Let's see. Looks like we might hit it. Not yet. So we're trending underneath the trend line, and it looks like we might get stopped.
Well,
Let's see. Make sure you guys set your stop losses. All right.
Stop filled.
There we go. Stop fill. Got out of the trade. Let's see what happens here. So we created a lower low, which is why I set my stop loss there. All right. So let's see if we can bounce on this at this level, this 35 level. Market opens in about 8 minutes. See, I would have been crying with this candle here, guys. This is where stop loss saves. So stop loss saves lives. Let's see. Let's see if we can bounce off this level. We'd be coming back here to the 50 EMA on the 5-minute chart, which is 59.36. What we were looking for here is looking essentially for RBR to the upside, getting in and then moving up, but we got some downside pressure, which is okay. Let's see if it still um let's see if that level is still active. If not, and we start trending below 59.35, then we could start to see and a change in the market. All right. See here. So a good trade idea here would be, let me actually cancel that. A good trade idea here would be 59 36 to the upside, and then basically setting a stop loss right below it at potentially 39. I mean, sorry, 59.34. That's if we continue bouncing off this off this 50 EMA here.
Oops, excuse me.
Let's see. We should still be trending up based on the formation. But let's see what happens here. We could get some pullback here at this 59.35 level. Looks like we're trying to approach. Okay. Here's a little bit of life here. Let's see. What's going to be important is how we interact with the 9 EMA coming off of this sell-off. That's going to be really important. How do we recover? How do we bounce back? Do we get above the 9 EMA or no? That's one thing to think about and one thing to consider. Typically with engulfing candles, especially over here, there's usually a indication of a change in trend, but the next candle usually has to follow up. Okay, so if it doesn't follow up, that usually isn't a good sign, which is why it ended up taking it down. But that's why you need to make sure you have your stop loss, right? That's the important piece of setting your stop losses so that once you realize that you may be on the wrong side of the trade, you're able to just essentially get out at minimal loss and reposition. All right, let's see here. We may get an engulfing bouncing off of this 5 minute 50 EMA. Let's see what happens. All right, market opens in 3 minutes. I'm gonna go back to one contract here. Let's see if we can get some buying coming in. All right, it may be time to change bias here. We could be going downside. Let's see. Now I'm looking at potentially the fact that we're below the 50 EMA. We're also now below the 9. Let's see if touches on the 9 starts to move us down. Now here I'm looking for a nice healthy green candle and then potentially looking to reposition into sells. That way I could take a downside trade. Um, let's see what happens after this next candle. We got about 1 minute left before the market opens here. Let's see, let's see, let's see. All right, we're back above the 9 EMA. Now I want to see us reject that 50 again. If we're truly not going upside, I need to see it reject the 50. Now, here's something I'm looking at as well. We have a high, and then what's this? What's this, guys? If this is a high, what's this right here?
Resistance. They're low, something like that.
This is a high. This is a lower high,
I
right?
mean,
Now we have some buying coming in, which is great. Now I want to see us create a new high up here. If we don't, I'm positioning to grab a sell. It looks crazy, right? You see all this green, you're like, oh my gosh, why would we buy sell? Simple, because we would get into the sell and then just simply create a stop loss right above it. Okay, so I'm going to wait for this candle to finish. All right, now we got a lot of volatility. The market just opened.
the market opens, getting busy now.
Yeah. All right, so we just created a new high just now.
What about a double bottom?
It's not necessarily double buy. I think we just hit a key level to take us up. And so it looks like I got faked out here with all this negative energy down here. Um, yeah, especially with this going up like this. But are we gonna create a new high?
Good
That's the question.
energy down there.
We gotta look and see if we're gonna create a new high over here. Because if not, it's gonna push back down. It could be a triple top. So a nice play here would be grabbing a sell here and then pretty much setting stop loss right above the sell, right? Because now it's looking like it's trying to push down and create a triple top.
Order filled.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Ooh.
All right, now. A quick run up usually is accompanied by a quick rundown. There we go. Mm. Mm. Anybody in sales? Ooh. All right. Here, I'm going to look to see if we can get more buyer volume to come back in and then create a sell order. Yeah, this is what I want right here. Patience. Mhm. All right. All right, give it a little time to breathe. I'm kind of in limbo right here, but let's see what happens. Very volatile right now. Now, if we bounce at this level again, we're going to go right back up. We're going to need to see some continuations to the downside if it's truly downside, because yeah, this is what exactly what I was thinking right here. If it didn't cross below, it's going to pop right back up. That's what's happening. All right, let's see. Let's look to reposition, reposition, reposition. If we come back down with red, I'm looking to get into some buys. One thing real quick, and then all right, let's see if we can create a new high up here. If not, we're going to come right back down. And create a little bit more space for us here. We may be getting an RBR here. I want us to touch this 9. Come on. Patience, patience. Let's touch the 9. I'm going to go ahead and set a buy right there. Get me in. Let's see. We have the 9 crossover above the 50 here. Still trending up. Guess what level we never hit, guys, to the downside? What level, what's the level that we never hit down here?
The 35 level?
30.
35 level, India. It respected that level. And what time do we talk about that
That's
level?
the demand zone, right?
That is in the demand zone. Does anybody know what time I alerted that level? 59.35?
What
What
was
time?
it, like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock?
It said 8:48.
8:48. So about almost an hour ago, right? Almost an hour ago, that level is showing us that it was proven to be right. That's pre-market analysis. Okay.
About the 59.45. That like a supply zone.
59.45. Yeah, it does look like a supply zone, but We're gonna see if we can get above it. All right, here's the moment of truth here. I think we can. I'm gonna do one more check here. It's looking like it's trying to get caught up here. I think we're gonna break out.
Order filled.
All right. Just bought one. I'm gonna set my stop right here. Let's see. Just one contract. Gonna just test it out, see if we can play the breakout. Get some of those losses back from earlier. This is just a feel for the market, y'all. Let's see. Okay, it came down. It came down a bit again.
Trying to hold that spot.
It's looking like it. I'm looking into maybe buying another one here if we stay above it. Let's see. I'm gonna be patient. Let's see. We got one so far. Ooh. Trust your instincts, YC. Double down. I didn't do that. But it's still moving. We're still in the trade. Upside. We just got a new high. All right. Making that money back. I think I'm okay with taking it up here, though. We're going to get all this risky business over here. Let's see. If not, I'll double down again. But I want to see this breakout. Nope, coming down again. Still above the 9, still above the 50. All right, coming down now. It just grabbed the 50. I mean, it just grabbed the 9. Mm. Why? So you gotta trust yourself. Upside. Okay. Let's see if we can break out here. If not, I'm gonna actually just take my money and leave this one. Let's see. You gotta double down, bro. You gotta double down. Here, we had 2 opportunities to get another contract and still keep our stop loss. Now it's moving up. I could have had 2 of these bad boys with it. All right. Now we're setting stops. Y'all like that?
Hey, what's up, Watch? What are you? You in for a long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
My bad, man.
That looks good.
this is 3 contracts I was supposed to have, y'all. Oh, I'm still following it. I could get kicked out any moment now.
Stop filled.
There we go. Made all that money back from earlier. This should have been 3 contracts, y'all. 339 or 337. That's the play of the breakout. That's great execution. Did anybody follow me on that trade just now?
I was in the car. I wish I did.
Man, to be honest, Watson, man, I kind of been in this trade for quite some time, man. I think I've been in this trade since I had got up, man, like around about 5 when I had saw that it had reversed.
Yeah.
And so I kind of been in this trade since probably since about 5:30 this morning, man. Just
Oh,
riding it up.
really? Where'd you
Yeah. I got in at 59.27 is when I got in.
Dang. Yeesh. So you up crazy right now.
Well, I'm in micros though, so this is
Okay,
my
you're in
real
macros.
account.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah,
it's
so you
relative.
know,
It's
yeah.
relative. This was a nice play, guys. We took a loss here, unfortunately, but the as you can see, this is why you take your stop loss though, right? Because I was wrong only for a few minutes. Look at how long it took for me to see that we had to get out of the trade, right? Like I was really focused on us going upside here because I saw the potential. And when it showed that it wouldn't go that direction, at least in that time period, I didn't get too flustered though. I still wanted to make sure and look at the exit. So you guys saw me trailing the trade, right? You guys saw me trailing the trade, canceling the order, repositioning, canceling the order, repositioning it. Now I get to inherit all this. And guess what? I don't care about none of this going on right here, right? My emotions aren't in it because I'm back in green. So we took a loss over here. We took a stop loss. This is what I tell you guys all the time. It's better to be okay with taking a loss than anything because you can still use that energy for your next trade. You guys didn't hear me pout. You guys didn't hear me get upset. You guys didn't hear me, complaining about taking that loss, right? Because it looked like it was a good trade. And as we can see, it ended up still going the direction that it was supposed to go. And I know a lot of you guys think about it all the time, saying like, it was supposed to go here, it was supposed to go here. Well, the idea is, yes, it should, right? But at the end of the day, we can't control all this. What we could control is this stop loss. And what I could control is the reentry, right? I chose to re-enter here because we were still above the 9. Then also we had some downside that we had a red candle. This candle was red, right? When I got in. You guys see that, right? This candle was red when I got in. Now it ended up being a green candle because we started going up. But you can see that being that the candle is this range, it would have been red when I got into that trade. See, a lot of you guys may be thinking, okay, I got to get into the trade as it's going up. I got to trend as it's going up. Yes, that's true. But in the interim, you want to make sure you're entering into the trade as it's looking like it's going the opposite direction. Because what happened after I got in is that it went straight up, which is all this candle right here, right? So we took our small loss over here, right? And then we simply repositioned. We stuck to our rules and we said we're going to get back in. And the only other thing about this trade was I had 2 opportunities to double down. They gave me my price back twice and I didn't take it. I should have got one contract here, one contract here, kept my stop loss the same, right? Kept my stop loss the same. I think it was at maybe 59.40 at the time. Okay. And I would have been able to triple these profits. That would have been a grand, right? A grand in about 3 minutes. Okay. Which is okay. That's okay. I mean, you can hear real-time emotions, which is what you should hear, right? Um, I'm still not a perfect trader. I'm as best as I could be, and I've mastered this trade as much as I can up to this point. So there's sometimes that you still look back and say, like you guys heard me talking to myself, why so you gotta trust yourself, right? Because this was clear. I saw it happening and I told myself that this should be a situation where I double down. And it usually is. You guys want to know what potentially was the reason why I didn't double down? It's potentially because of this loss over here. So I'm even in real time self-diagnosing myself, thinking to myself, why didn't you trust yourself here? It's simply because I took a loss over here. I trusted myself over here. It didn't work out. It looks like, at least initially, but I should have stuck to my rules. You always double down and set the same stop loss when you come back to your price area, especially if it's still trending your direction. Okay. 350 would have times 3 would have been a little bit over $1,000. Okay. With the same trade, all I would have been doing is just buying at the same price or even lower, a little bit lower. We had a few times where it came lower. Okay. So, I hope you guys can see that. And again, taking a loss here. This was a $200 loss over here. This is a $350 win. $200 loss with 3 contracts. $350 win with 1 contract. Right? So that's just something to look into. And as we can see, the exit was pristine. Whenever you get a large candle like this, you guys have to do exactly what I did, which is trail your profits. Because if I had just kept my stop loss here and not moved it up as the trade was going up, I wouldn't have been able to inherit that trade, right? I potentially, I don't know, maybe may have stopped out somewhere on this candle, maybe. I don't know. Who knows, right? But that's just something to take notice of. I hope you guys are learning in real time as you're watching things happen. Where I want to look at now to reposition would be 59.42 here at the 50. If it's truly an upside trend, we should not be able to break that 50 EMA. Does anybody have any questions for me? Marcel, are you still in this trade? Anybody got questions for me? Looks like we're still trying to trend up a bit here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get you.
Okay, cool. Um, so let's see what happens here. This could be a 9 EMA reject trade, or this could be us being held by support here by the 50 EMA on the 1-minute chart. Again, we're still above our upside level, which is 59.35. So you kind of still have to hold the bias of upside, especially coming down. So let's see if we can surface somewhere. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, Wasi. I'm at work, so I kind of missed what led you to get in that particular trade. Are you able to re-explain it, or is there somewhere we can go to access the actual recording?
Yeah, this is being recorded, just serious. So we have the recordings inside the Discord. So I'm gonna send that into the Discord so that you can pretty much just watch the whole thing play out again on your
Okay, thank you.
yeah. All right, so we're coming down again here. We came below the 50 EMA. Now what we want to see is if we're going to stay above our level 35, 36. Okay, that's what we want to see. If we get underneath it, then we could be continuing to trend low. Okay, I think I see where Marcel entered. Somewhere around here, potentially. We started to trend upwards. All right, let's see if we can get a bounce off of this 50. We've been bouncing off the 50 for quite some time. Let's see if we can stay above it. This trend line is not needed anymore. No, just doing that one. Okay. This is a lot of downside right here. Now, what I would want to see, I want to see a retest of the 50. Guys, it's going to be really important. Like when we see candles forming like this, it's really important for us to exhibit patience because you're going to get the setup you want. You just have to be patient for it. Like you don't want to just chase it, okay? Because then it can go against you. I want to wait until we touch the 50 EMA. I believe we should touch the 50 EMA at some point. We should have an engulfing candle that's going to engulf this one, okay? And we should touch the 50 EMA again. I just believe that. Now, if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen and I have to find the next trade. But that's what's going to allow me to be most comfortable in getting into this trade, not just watching it go down and just catching it as it's going down. At some point in time, there has to be some green that comes in. And anytime, like I said, anytime we're in a trade or anytime we're looking to position ourselves into a trade, we want to see the opposite candle forming. Okay. So if you want buys here, this would be a great area to buy and then set a stop loss, right? If you buy here at this 35 level, then you set a stop loss. Now look, you would have already got kicked out because it's moving down, right? So let's see what happens here. Now we just created a new low. And in hindsight, exiting up here is like genius. We caught this entire candle in that 5 minutes. That's pretty impressive. All right, so what we want to see here is we want to see ourselves grab the 50 EMA. Let's see if we can get back to 38. We're on the 5-minute chart. Let's see if we can get to 59.38 and then take it down. I'm going to go ahead and set a buy. No, not a buy. So, see, that's how I get caught up sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and set a sell, and then we're going to set a stop loss right here. Patience is going to win this time. Go ahead, push it up. They almost got me in the trade. Come on, y'all. There we go.
Order filled.
There we go. Now, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out.
Filled.
There we go. Which is very okay. No problem with that. One contract just to see if we can ride the momentum. Now it's looking like it's trying to reverse trend. At least initially. Let's see what happens here. Quick stop losses is going to save your life, I promise. You won't have to, and the thing about it is when you make this a practice and then knowing that you can see good setups and watching them form, it's going to make you even much more of a bulletproof trader. That's the idea of what you want to have happen. I talked a little bit earlier about the engulfing candle, right? This candle engulfed here. I still think we're going to go downside again. I'm just waiting for this next candle. I think they faked me out again. You see what I mean? Quick stop loss though, not doesn't hurt anybody. If we move up again though, I'm grabbing another sell. Stop loss may have been a little too tight here. I probably could have put it up a little bit more. I'm gonna do that next time. You gotta practice these rules in real time. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with learning in real time. All right, now, let's see. I think they want to push it down. They faked me out. They tricked me out my spot. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and set another buy here. Just to keep myself disciplined.
Another buy?
No, sorry. You're right. Another sell.
Okay.
Thanks, India.
You're welcome.
Another sell. Thank you. That has messed me up a few times. I'm not gonna lie. We're getting a sell there. So that's the play here. Let's see. Let's see if we can get there. And this time I'm gonna set it. Let's see. I'm gonna set it up here. Got the sell order, and then I got the buy order. If we get in, this will be the last one for this session today. We got about 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? No questions yet. All right. It might not even get my level, but that's wishful thinking. H pattern. They don't want me there. Let's see. I'll keep it there. Let's see if they pop it up for me. I have a sell order at 59.38, basically. Okay. More green. You guys want to push it up for me? Now we're flirting with that 35 level again, right? Which is why I'm making sure I have a stop loss, because if we continue to bounce on that level, it's going to bounce back up again. It's definitely giving sideways energy at this point. But let's see. We can only stay in this area for so much longer. We're underneath the 50. We're underneath the 9. Oh, this is kind of painful though. I ain't gonna lie, guys, because we haven't even gotten back up to where I got stopped out at. I could have still been in this trade, low key. Stop loss was way too tight. A little salty about that. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's okay. I knew it was going that way. Confidence is still intact, but we knew this was gonna happen here. Stop loss is way too tight. Let's see here. Can we engulf? Y'all want to engulf for me at this 39? What is this, 35 level? I'm gonna set another stop.
I think I might enter for another long.
Another long.
I think so. Once it come down a little bit more.
All right, let's see what happens here. I'm thinking we have a 9 EMA reject. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here, guys. This looks like it may engulf here. I'm gonna set a stop. Let's see. We got a couple minutes left. Does anybody have any questions for me? Any questions, y'all?
So we good.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm. All right, let's see. Still kind of sideways a bit. It's coming down again.
Wazzy, the trend is your friend until it's broken, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it looks like. Let's see. I want them to get me in this trade. We tested 9. It hasn't touched my level yet. I'll give it some more time. All right, market. Let's see what you got for me.
Order filled.
All right, I'm in a trade.
Going short.
Going short, yeah. Let's see what happens here. Well, I see you're taking that, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Order filled.
Good job, Wasi.
You closed out already?
Closed out already, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah, you see.
already. This is a sideways interaction here. Got my loss back. Probably a little bit more room can still go down, but I was okay with that.
Yeah, I've been noticing for myself the sideways action is not my thing, man. I get
Yeah,
it's not my game at all, the sideways action.
yeah. That was a nice little snipe just now.
Yeah, it was.
But what preceded that though? I had a plan in play, right? It looked like it was going up, and I told myself, well, hey, if it's gonna keep going up, then you're gonna have to show me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't do that, right? That's my mindset. That's my mindset. If you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to show me something different, you're gonna really have to show it. And that's why I put my stop loss where I put it. But then once it started coming down, I got my finger on the trigger. Like I'm not really wasting time. Now, obviously, we're seeing some more sideways action. It could have continued to go back down, as you can see. Um, but because it's sideways, I wasn't willing to wait out on that. I liked the profit that I was looking at least even for just one contract. But we're seeing it come down a little bit more. There's nothing is hurting you from getting in and out the market that quickly. Like nobody's taking note of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like a quick $100 in like 1 minute. Like you can't really beat that with one contract. Um, so that's just something to take right. So that's one thing to look at. It's probably still going down here. Let's see. You still had the downtrend. The trend will set it. The trend is your friend. And we had a nice green candle. You guys, I'm gonna keep saying it so somebody listens. Okay. And I mean that jokingly. What I'm saying is we're getting into sells on green candles, we're getting into buys on red candles. Period. And the more I'm gonna keep doing that, the more I want you guys to see the benefit in doing it. Right? I wanted the market to show me that it was going to do something different, at least in the interim, and it didn't do that, right? So I was basically betting against the market to say, market, you got to show me that you're really not what I'm looking at that you are, essentially. If you're showing me that you're going up, but we're still on a downtrend, you're going to have to really show me that you're really, really going up, right? And that's where the stop loss comes into play. So I'm willing to wait for it to touch my level
Oh, babe, I'm right here.
because I have that understanding of, all right, I'm still going to be in this trade as long as it continues to stay in my own in the trend that I'm looking at, right? And so that's pretty much the thought process behind it, and that's how you have to look at it on a day-to-day basis. It's going to change everything for you, I promise. Look for your green candles, getting in on this green candle to get sells, right? That would have been perfect. I got in on this green candle to get a sell. Obviously, my stop loss was tight, but you could see that it worked out if not for the tight stop loss. Okay. Same thing here. Green candle, red. Okay. Same thing over here. Red candle, green. I made money on both sides today. Okay. I made money on both sides today. So it's really going to be about fixing your mind on that. Fixing your mind on that. And it's something, it's a practice. You're gonna have to practice it. You're really gonna have to practice it. You're gonna have to do this every single day. Train your brain to change how it's thinking. Because typically we want to ride with momentum, and that's great. But as far as entry is concerned with the market, you want to see how you will have the ability to get into the trade at the right time. You want to be able to partner with where the market is going, not what is trying to fake you out into thinking it's about to do. Right? Um, and I think that's even the benefit of just simply getting in at levels instead of hitting buy market or I mean I sell at market, but I mean as far as getting out of the trade, it's good to get out, exit at market. But as far as getting into the trade, you definitely want to set it at the chart so that way you don't have to panic, right? Like once I hit the buy, I mean once I hit the sell. And by the way, India, I really appreciate you for reminding me to change that because that would have been a buy right there and I would have been crying. But anyway, so right there, right, that's where we wanted to grab that sell, right? Placing the order, hitting the sell, and then making sure you have your buy right on top of it. That allowed me to get out. Obviously, here, a $50 loss, whatever. But you know, being if I didn't take that $50 loss, we'd be looking at this is only one contract. We'd be looking at it maybe about a $200 gain on this candle. Okay, so that's the outcome. Literally, think about it. It's either a $50 loss or a $200 gain, right? Right? It's either we lose a couple dollars over here, 125, or we win three something. So if you practice that over time, imagine how that's going to transform your trading strategy, right? Because you're taking small losses, but then you're maximizing your gains. You see, this was this was this was a good exit, especially with this green candle. But there's still opportunities for reentry. This was also a good candle to re-enter sales. This also is a good candle to have re-entered sales, right? And so how I like to look at it is this. The reason why I chose to enter here is because the previous candle that we wouldn't need to get out at is right above it. So if I get in on a sell at over here, then my stop loss is potentially up here. Okay? Like for instance, we're trying to come up here right now. Granted, right now we're pretty much in between we're pretty much flirting underneath a key level 35. So we could potentially pop up at any point here. But the point being is if you were to get a sell on this candle, then your stop loss would be up here. So you would do a sell, you would do a sell right here on this candle, right? And then you would do a buy up here to stop loss. If we get above this area, then of course the trade is cooked because then we have a change in trend. But if we don't get above that, then it should be going the other direction, and that's how you make your money. All right. So look at it here. If we got into buys on this candle right here, I mean, sorry, if we get into sells on this candle, we'll hit it at 34 and then set the stop at 36. You're giving up 2 points, but those 2 points if only one contract is not that much money, but the money you can be able to gain from it going downside obviously is quite a bit. So that's what you need to take take heed to. We're still underneath the 50, so you have the trend still being your friend, which is why it's pushing it down, right? Um, for me, I think I'm okay with the profits I have now, so I'm not going to reposition, but you know, just taking the small advice I just gave would have already had you in this trade, taking it down, right? Let's see what happens here on this candle. Always take heed to engulfing candles. Like engulfing candles always show you that there's some sort of imbalance in the price in the market. Going on? This is YC from the Option Snipers, and we're looking for new traders that are literally telling themselves, I have no idea what I'm doing in the market. If that sounds like you, it is going to be imperative for you to go ahead, click the link below so that you can join our community. Listen, we're not for everybody, so if you feel like you already know it all, please, by all means, continue to strive for your own success. But if you're someone that literally needs the assistance, it's definitely going to benefit you to join our community. All right, so go ahead and click the link below, and we'll see you soon. Chat later.